El-Frontier opening bell, Tuesday, the 19th of December. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the show. I am Bosin Omofaye, and let's just dig straight into the market. 1.31% haircut for the Johannesburg Stock Exchange. The GSE fell yesterday on the back of that profit booking. Next door in Zimbabwe, the Zimbabwe Stock Exchange, the ZSE, was also down by 1.7%. We're seeing a bit of a very sluggish movement to start the week as we begin to count down to the end of Christmas and the end of the year. So investors are a little bit skittish in the manner of speaking. Some profit booking, a bit of bargain hunting you find. Look at the top of the table, you find the Nigerian market up by just 2 basis points on Monday to start the new week after those roaring trading sessions we had from November into the early part of December. Now that those roaring daily trading, hundreds of billions on a daily basis, local currency seems to have tapered off as we started the week with less than 9 billion naira in addition to the market cap. We'll see a bit of balancing, however, in the banking sector, consumer and industrial goods, with names such as Dangote Sugar and Lafarge Africa, the third largest cement maker. The BRVM yesterday marks its 27th anniversary since it became the stock exchange for the 8 French-speaking countries in West Africa, based in Côte d'Ivoire. The market down by 59 basis points. That's the composite, by the way. Then you've got the EGX30 up by 0.28% on Sunday, ratcheted up that stronger to 2.19% on Monday on the back of the Red Sea crisis, the Houthis militant attacks, which are linked to Iran and all of that. All that attacks on vessels that are going through the Red Sea. A number of companies are pulling back from using that route, by the way, with implications for global trade, logistics, and supply. Then you have the Nairobi stock market at 0.90% negative. Let's take it up into that East Africa and just look at the big stories from Kenya and all of that. Rwanda gets additional $268 million in funding from the IMF as BioNTech yesterday put forth its first, put boots on the ground for that vaccine facility, which has been built in Rwanda. It was a big day. Of course, we saw an MOU for the Africa Pharmaceuticals Technology Foundation, which was signed yesterday by various parties, including the EFDB. Akunobi Additional, the head of the EFDB, signing on behalf of the DFI. So it's quite a very big Monday in Kigali, Rwanda, and that's a good news for the continent, learning from the COVID-19 global pandemic. Look at the top of the line with the East African community looking at rising inflation and falling local currencies within the region, slowing down the EAC's growth to 5.7% for this year. That's according to news coming through on Monday. Kenya and the EU signing a new trade deal. Of course, the head of the European Union was in Nairobi on Monday with President William Ruto, which is a very big deal for the Ruto administration, looking at the trade between EU and Kenya, about 2.2 billion euros for 2022. Kenya wants to increase that very significantly as the biggest economy within the East African community. The British Investment International says it's making $50 million support to NMB Bank of Tanzania. They are there to support the sustainability bond that NMB Tanzania is floating within that marketplace, and that's some support from the United Kingdom. Africa Trade and Investment Development Insurance Funding, about 20 million solar projects in Uganda next door there in to Tanzania. That's your headlines from across East Africa. Let's move on to West Africa. Nigerian president yesterday inaugurated a new board of directors for the National Oil Company, which is the NNPC Limited, and asking them not to see the new appointments as cake sharing, and as he will not hesitate to dissolve the new board if they fail to perform. He wants to see increased petrol products on the local market, as well as more profit from the State Oil Corporation. In the meantime, Nigeria is introducing a new 15 naira levy on foreign exchange transactions, and the new rule set out by the central bank will see these transactions for any those levy around 10,000 naira, will be piggyback all the way to January 2021. So if you've done any transactions above 10,000 in Naira in local currency value in FX since January 2021, you will be required to pay the backlog of that up till December 2023, and the new EMTL will be effective moving forward. That will be paid into setting the government coffers, which is the Inland Revenue Service. Oil prices jumping as the Houthis attacks on vessels in the Red Sea is ramping up, is increasing by the day. So the coalition of international organizations has been put together by the US to see what will be done to contain these attacks. British Petroleum yesterday joined a few others shipping firms to stop using the Red Sea route, which is going to affect, of course, Suez Canal, which is a listed company on the Egyptian stock market. Still within the Nigerian marketplace, the agency responsible for regulating pension industry says it's introducing a new performance measurement benchmarks for PFAs and the collective pension fund administrators in the country. We'll try to see the details of that, by the way. Yesterday, we saw the Bank of Ghana at the Interbank trading the cedi, trading the cedi at 12.25 to 11.64 between that band the Interbank market against the US dollar. And I said earlier, the BRVM, congratulations to the regional exchange in Côte d'Ivoire, marking its 27th anniversary yesterday, Monday, the 18th of December. Let's move on and see the Southern African headlines, business and investment this Tuesday, as Goldman Sachs says backing the South African rand and says there's more room for the currency to run just ahead of next April's general elections. A very crunching one, 30 years since black majority rule was enthroned in South Africa. And the JSE listed Jubilee Metals says it's raised about 300 million rand to expand its operations next door in Zambia. That's in the mineral resources space, while Angola and Kenya projects are still the best in terms of US Africa infrastructure drive. That's according to an analysis that is on the street. While India and Lesotho in Southern Africa are discussing trade in rupee, bypassing the US dollar. So let's see North Africa. Egypt has the Israel-Hamas war crisis at the top end at the north end of his borders. Then it's now got the Red Sea on the eastern coast. No thanks to the Houthis, militants from Yemen, reportedly backed by Iran, attacking ocean-going vessels within the corridor. So the NASA Petroleum in Egypt says it's targeting refining about 2.5 million tons of crude oil in the 2023-2024 period. And that's the company listed on the Egyptian exchange. The HSBC says it sees more Egyptian pound devaluation in the first quarter of next year, January to March. HSBC is forecasting that the Egyptian pound will be trading 40 to 45 against the US dollar. Exports in Egypt to Africa, down south to sub-Saharan Africa, up 13% year on year in the first 10 months of this year, January to October, while the EFDB is giving Morocco $269 million to build a highway. And that's your highway to today's marketplace, Frontier, opening bell on the African continent. You can watch this show again, as well as other shows that we produce on a daily and regular basis on our website, www.frontierafricareports.com. Go to our YouTube, and of course, you can also follow us across our social media handles. Have a great day, everyone.